He disrespected Manny Pacquiao like no one ever had before. What happened next was brutal. Content. On July 20th, 2019, in the iconic ring of the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, the legendary Manny Pacquiao stepped in to deliver yet another masterful performance. While most people complain about back pain or their morning coffee, the Filipino fighter proved that age is just a mindset as he faced the undefeated WBA welterweight champion, Keith Thurman. This was not just a fight. It was a lesson on why you should never provoke a man who still dedicates himself to strengthening his body in an era where most are more focused on spreading hate on X, formerly Twitter. Thurman, a champion who had reached the top at 30, entered the ring with a perfect record of 29 wins and 0 losses, having secured 22 of them by knockout. Known for his tactical boxing, fearless defense, and dizzying footwork, Thurman complemented whatever reputation he had built with his ability to trash talk. Like the typical arrogant guy you find at a bar who starts a fight and wakes up the next day wondering why he's missing teeth, Thurman didn't hold back when it was announced that Pacquiao would be his next opponent. The jokes about the legend's retirement came quickly, but what Thurman didn't know was that he was much closer to being brutally punched in the face by the Filipino than to Pacquiao leaving the sport. Like a true old-school gentleman, Pacquiao remained composed and didn't waste words. He knew that in these situations, fists always have the final say. That night, the excitement of the fans overflowed the arena. Even figures like Floyd Mayweather Jr. secured their seats to witness this legendary showdown, though most likely he was there to take notes on how to stay retired while remaining the center of attention. Inspired by the presence of his former rival, Pacquiao stepped into the ring dancing, carrying a level of aggression in his body that Thurman would surely regret provoking for the rest of his life. Fight summary. Thurman, who once claimed he would be the one to retire Pacquiao, found himself struggling to escape the reach of the legend's powerful fists in the very first round. Whether against the ropes or in the center of the ring, Pacquiao did an excellent job attacking and counterattacking when the situation called for it.
One thing about me when I was fighting, I never bet on myself, by a half a mile, but just who gets away with what? That's a good right. Pacquiao comes right back.
10 by Thurman so far. Pacquiao at 6.
By the end of the round, the bully earned himself a fully paid trip to the canvas, courtesy of the Filipino's precise right hook. His fall was so thunderous that, for a moment, Thurman likely considered finding glory in another profession.
Manny Pacquiao. Oh, down goes Thurman!
And let me tell you, that Manny Pacquiao moved in with his leg.
Pacquiao went on to dominate the next 4 rounds, turning the ring into his playground and the bully into his favorite toy. Without mercy or regret, the Filipino made it clear, through his fists, why he was a legend, rather than making empty promises like the arrogant young fighter had done before stepping into the ring.
From the other side, if a judge is looking at that, he's going to think that
counter-punching and accuracy. Was 6 years old. Oh, big.
And that jab's following it and really did stun Thurman for a second. Not do that occasionally. He's got to do it most of the round.
3, scheduled for 12.
With his speed, he's doing great.
Thanks so much, Freddie. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Heidi.
He's winning this round, Thurman, right now, even though Manny's never going to stop.
Pacquiao again, the aggressor.
See what Pacquiao's doing right now? He's giving it
by Pacquiao catches Thurman.
Thinks he's in front of him, he's not, and he has to readjust.
However, Thurman proved to be a man of faith, throwing himself into the unknown, hoping that the intensity of Pacquiao's offense would fade as the minutes passed. Unfortunately for him, reality could not have been further from his expectations. His only choice was to start chasing after his ego, which had already abandoned him since that tragic first knockdown.
To the side and work his body and try to slow him down.
What did he say to you? I saw him.
This is round 5, scheduled for 12 from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Pacquiao had the advantage early over the first couple of...
If I were his coach, telling him to keep the pressure on his hand. A little bit down the...
Rooting on her husband here in Las Vegas.
It was a nice little move by both guys.
By the halfway mark of the scheduled rounds, Thurman showed that the last functioning neuron in his brain activated under pressure. He switched tactics, realizing he possessed a natural advantage that could help him lower Pacquiao's defenses. The plan was formulated in his mind. Now, the already exhausted fighter had to put it into action. His only obstacle? He was facing a legend who had spent his life overcoming fighters as strong or stronger than him, making the transition from theory to practice much more complicated.
Midway through round 6. Oh, left by Pacquiao.
Thurman decided to use his solid footwork while stepping in, only to attack Pacquiao's body and trying to escape unscathed. His plan seemed to be working. He managed to trap the Filipino against the ropes a couple of times. But whenever Pacquiao counterattacked, it seemed like Thurman took more steps back than he had advanced.
Boxers don't usually do that. Or else,
Right by Thurman.
It's a nice. Oh, good right hand, left hook.
Keep him occupied, mixing up his offense.
It's up into two parts. I get the first. Good count. Both countering each other. Round or two here or there. He won the first half. Thurman has got to win this half.
He breaks it down into rounds 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12. Nice combination by Thurman and a right hook.
See?
Now the response by Manny Pacquiao.
Without a doubt, the bully still had a long road ahead if he even hoped to score a knockdown like the one that was already weighing against him on the judges' scorecard since the first round. In the 10th round, just when Thurman was beginning to feel comfortable in the ring, Pacquiao unleashed an offense so brutal that his opponent was likely left wondering why he hadn't chosen chess as his sport instead of facing legends of this caliber inside a boxing ring.
Of the last 4 rounds.
Well, you know, I don't disagree with those numbers because Pacquiao, wherever, either that or a punch, but it may have been a headbutt. I missed it. Got to the belly of Pacquiao. But Pacquiao's got Thurman on the run right now.
For the remainder of the fight, the bully was seen running from the Filipino with nothing but desperation in his corner. The poetic irony of the moment was undeniable. The man who had promised to retire Pacquiao was now running from him, shamelessly trying to save his own life. These events made one thing clear. The venom in his words did not match the level of his skills in the ring. After that, Thurman learned that maybe he should spend less time giving interviews or posting statements on social media and invest more time in the gym, where he could actually develop the skills necessary to be one of the greats, instead of just a great idiot. Thurman returned from his corner to give his best effort during the final 2 rounds. Suddenly, the fight turned into a close race, where nothing less than a photo finish was expected. Both fighters knew it was time to bring out their heavy artillery. Neither wanted to leave their fate to chance. In one corner, an empty promise loomed, one that would haunt him for the rest of his life if unfulfilled. In the other, a legend had to honor his legacy and defend his image so that no other loudmouth would dare to promise him an uncomfortable retirement at the hands of their fists.
In that last round, and he's going back to it by Thurman. Good uppercut by Thurman. That being said, Birmingham knows that Keith Thurman's point of view, he's going to try to do it, but whether he's got enough gas by Pacquiao.
We hit the midway point. The only knockdown came back in round 1. Pacquiao knocking.
Thurman's world collapsed when the final bell rang. It had been 12 grueling rounds of elite pugilism. If there's one thing we must acknowledge about Keith, it's that despite his moments of panic, he did rise to the occasion and put on a good show. He didn't let himself be completely intimidated, at least not entirely, by that chilling knockdown at the end of the brutal first round. However, what truly mattered in that moment was whether his efforts to survive until the scheduled end of the fight would be enough to win over the judges and leave Pacquiao with a bitter taste in his mouth. When the announcer took center ring, all speculation came to an end. The judges had their winner, and it was only a matter of seconds before finding out whether the bully's prophecy would come true or if Pacquiao would retire on his own terms, without allowing anyone to claim the honor of taking him out of the sport. Tim Cheatman and Dave Moretti scored the fight 115-112, while Glenn Feldman had it 113-114. Do you know what that means? A split decision victory. At this point, the cat in the box could be either alive or dead. In other words, either fighter could claim the win. But the only thing that mattered was what most experts agreed on. Manny Pacquiao defeated Keith Thurman by split decision in the 12th round. For Thurman, the split decision label was nothing more than a consolation prize, something he could cling to in an attempt to convince himself that he had a real chance against the legend. But in reality, from that violent first round onward, no one saw him as the true winner. Closing thoughts. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. Remember, the best way to support my content is by leaving a like on the video. Do you think Thurman ever had a real chance of beating Pacquiao? Or was he just another loudmouth who got fans excited by counting his chickens before they hatched, only to find that his skills in the ring didn't match his words? Let me know in the comments.